Joining us now for more on today's numbers, Kimberly-Clark Chairman and CEO, Michael Hsu. Mike, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Sarah. Wilfred, good to see you.
Good to see you, too. So the market reaction today, was this a case of just elevated expectations given your sales increase around the pandemic, or does it speak to some slowing of growth?
Well, I think, we feel good about our performance. Generally, Sarah, we feel very good that we have healthy brands around the world. Our consumer business delivered strong performance in the quarter. We've been improving our market positions around the world and investing to ensure that we can have long-term healthy brand growth. For instance, I will tell you, our consumer business in North America was up about 8% in the quarter. And in developing markets, our consumer business was up over 7%. So we feel good about the underlying performance of our brands. Certainly we had some challenges in our professional business, which is very dependent about what's going on in the overall business environment, particularly in the U.S., and that has slowed, as you're well aware.
When does that come back? Do you have any projection?
Well, I do think a lot of it has to do with the COVID environment. And so I think when you're asking that, sir, you're probably asking me, what do you think is going to happen to COVID? And, I'm not the expert on that, but we are following all the published forecasts very closely, and we're actually managing our operations to keep our employees safe. And so on a location by location basis around the world. And so what I would tell you is, given what we're seeing and reading, we do expect at least the first half of next year to continue to be a COVID-like environment where we will have more consumers working from home and businesses softer. And so the effect for us overall is what you're seeing from us year to date, which is we tend to see a bit of an increase in consumption in our consumer side and obviously a pretty significant decline in our professional side. Our washroom business for the quarter was down 35%, although our team is doing better than that. I think our overall division performance for the year for KC Professional was down 15%.
So let's talk about what consumers are doing at home, which they're clearly, all those segments went up for you, tissues especially very strong. How much of it, Mike, is still the stock-ups around the pandemic mentality? And does that growth continue to slow as we hopefully get past this pandemic and get to a vaccine?
Yeah, Sarah, I think we're largely through the stock-up effect and really into what I might call turn consumption, right, or regular consumption. And what I mean by that is I do think that we saw a spike in the first quarter and into the second quarter about consumers wanting to have more in their pantry. I don't know if you are carrying more in your pantry, but I think most people I talk to are keeping a higher inventory level at home. That said, I think we've seen some reversion of that, but overall, the simple math of it is with people working from home more, that increases occasions for certainly bath tissue usage and towel usage at home, and we're seeing commensurate growth there. Year to date, overall consumer tissue, the categories are up over 20%. And so, for manufacturers like us, while we can produce enough to go around to serve everybody, we can't produce it in a short time period because of the utilization. We run at fairly high utilization rates. And so it's almost like the proverbial old-fashioned bank run. It's tougher to support a bank run, but we can make it with plenty of capacity for the long term.
So Mike, once we get through the worst of COVID, you see it more of a plateauing for those sorts of products? I saw one headline writing up your numbers saying that you faced the great toilet paper and bleach unwind. It's not that bad, is it?
I don't know that I see an unwind yet. I mean, certainly, I think there is a one-time stock-up effect that I don't think will continue to repeat itself. But for as long as we're in the work-from-home situation, Wilfred, we will, I think, see elevated levels of consumption at home. And there will commensurately, if all the population goes back to work, you would, see a commensurate decrease at some point. But I think that probably is somewhere, as we were just talking about, depending on what your belief is on the COVID environment. But I think we're well into next year there.
So you were just talking about toilet paper stock-ups and capacity. I mean, it really felt for a moment there like we were going to run out of toilet paper. Is that a risk if we have a second wave, if we have to do second lockdown and people start to stock up again on toilet paper? What is it about toilet paper also?
No, Sarah. I think there's very, very little risk that we and other manufacturers will run out of supply. I think there's plenty of capacity to serve consumer needs, certainly in the U.S. and in markets around the world. I think where the pressure came in is, when you have a 30% bump like we saw in Q1 that happened in the matter of 4 weeks, it's very tough to get assets to kind of to respond to that acceleration in that short of period of time. So overall, we feel very good. We had upped and increased our capacity, by getting more efficient in the products we're making. And so theoretically, we're producing a lot more product this year than we historically have.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.